Known as the gateway to the north of Japan, Ueno Station has stood the test of time, rising from the ashes of earthquake and fire, surviving World War II, and becoming home to orphaned and displaced children. In this episode, we take a deeper look at some of the events that have made Ueno Station what it is today. Ueno Station opened on the 28th of July 1883 as a terminal station for travellers, cargo and mail coming in from the north of Japan. The land it occupies was once part of the Kanagi Temple precinct, controlled by the Tokugawa clan up until the Ueno War in 1868. For the first 2 years of operation, the station operated from a temporary wooden building. The very next year, in 1884, a private railway opened between Ueno and Takasaki, stretching 101.6 kilometres to Takasaki in the Gunma prefecture. The emperor himself attended the official opening ceremony, which consisted of flags and horses. However, the station didn't become fully functional until 1885, when the new station building was opened. It was made of brick and consisted of 2 stories. It also had a distinct Western-style appearance, ticket hall, luggage sorting area, and waiting rooms. The south-facing side would become the main exit point due to the natural flows of traffic, although the front of the station was considered to be the east-facing side. In 1890, a cargo line opened between Ueno Station and Akihabara. It became necessary to separate the passengers and cargo operations due to limited space at Ueno Station. In 1905, due to the ever-growing demand from passengers from the north, 2 new platforms were added to the park side of the station. 1906 also saw double track laid between Ueno and Napori to further increase capacity. Then, at lunchtime on the 1st of September 1923, the Great Kanto earthquake devastated the Tokyo region. Firestorms and tornadoes soon ripped through the city, spurred on by winds from a typhoon off the coast. The message spread around the city to gather your personal belongings and evacuate the city. Many grabbed all they could and fled to Ueno Station to get the train north and head back to their hometowns. The station soon became overwhelmed with the sheer number of people. Becoming more desperate, people started walking on the tracks to Napori Station, where the trains were still functional there. A day after the earthquake, firestorms made their way to Ueno, engulfing the entire station in flames. The fire was so intense that it melted tracks, and by the next day, only the facade of the red brick building stood. However, Ueno Station reopened 3 weeks later on the 23rd of September in a temporary building. In the years after the earthquake and fire, Ueno underwent a massive rebuilding and revitalisation project. The station was progressively elevated, starting from the park side and moving east towards Asakusa. The first phase of this upgrade was completed in 1925, when the 80-metre long Yamashita-cho viaduct was completed, together with a 2-kilometre viaduct section to Kanda Station in the south. This enabled the Yamanote line to operate as a full circle for the first time. The newly elevated platforms were finished with marble staircases and elegant light fittings. Under the platforms at the southern end were a concourse leading to ticket gates and exits, baggage sorting areas, newspaper shops and a post office. To the north, passengers could leave via the new Ueno Park exit. The elevated construction continued throughout the 1920s, progressively elevating the Keihin Tokyu, Joban and cargo lines by 1930, clearing the way for the next phase of construction, the second generation station building. In 1927, Asia's first subway system began operation between Ueno and Asakusa. Construction began 2 years earlier using the open cut method, which a channel is dug from street level down and a lid put on it. The area in front of the second generation station building was chosen to house the platforms, which itself wouldn't be completed until 1932, and access was via 3 relatively small subway staircases and via the main station building. All digging was done via hand shovels, and in 1927 the first 2.2 kilometre section opened. On opening day, enthusiastic crowds lined up outside Ueno, which was still a massive construction site itself at the time. It was reported that 40,000 people used the system in the first morning's operation alone. 1932 saw the second generation station building completed. It was built over a period of 2 years and opened on April the 3rd. The outer wall was made of talc and komatsu stone, and the first floor wall was made of granite. The building was designed with optimal passenger flows in mind and is similar in design to today's modern airports, with departures coming in through the upper level and arrivals exiting via the lower. A major feature of the new station building was the large entry and ticket hall. It was a large cavernous space at 30 metres wide and 13.25 metres tall. It was also lined with ticket booths on both sides. Moving through the ticket hall was a waiting area, which featured an irregular shaped roof with a large glass skylight in the centre. The steel roof framework was visible to the naked eye, which created an industrial feel about the space. There were ticket gates and train indicator boards at the northern end, in a similar layout as there is today. At the height of the bubble in the 1990s, there was a plan to demolish the station and build a 300-metre skyscraper in its place. Keisei Ueno Station began operation on the 10th of October 1933. It was extended through Ueno Park from Nippori to penetrate deeper into the centre of Tokyo. It initially opened with the name Ueno Park Station, and the Keisei Electric Railway Company had to give special guarantees that they wouldn't harm any of the tree root systems, specifically the cherry blossom trees, before approval was granted for construction. The station box is located under the southernmost tip of Ueno Park, near the Shinobazu Pond, and while it's not directly incorporated into Ueno Station, it is connected via a 180-metre underground walkway. At the time the station was opened, the line was already at full length to the town of Narita. Ueno Station survived World War II unscathed, but the area around it, which was once a vibrant city, was reduced to ashes by the air raids in 1945. The survivors soon moved into the station looking for shelter from the elements and settling any space they could. They filled the underground passageways, staircases and walkways leading up to the station. By late 1945, the station was overrun with victims numbering into the thousands, which 300 to 400 were orphaned children whose parents were killed during the carpet bombings. The situation became bleak, and black markets rose out of the ashes to take advantages of the food shortages in the area, now known as Amayoko-cho. Everything and anything had a street value, and people would sift through the rubble just to find something to trade to stay alive. But there simply wasn't enough to go around in post-war Tokyo. Massive starvation set in amongst the station community, and one police officer at the time reported that there were 2 to 3 deaths each night due to hunger. These were the scenes that greeted travellers who passed through Ueno Station in the years after the war. Tokyo experienced rapid growth and rebuilding after the war, and the Hibiya line opened on the 28th of March 1961. The first 3.7 kilometre section was Tokyo's 4th metro line, and the construction method used was cut and cover, which was the same style as the Ginza line. The platforms are located directly under Showa-dori Avenue and next to the Ginza line platform box. Access is via the same network of subterranean tunnels and staircases as the Ginza line. 1968 saw island platforms 5 and 6 elevated, finally completing station elevation works that began in the 1920s. On December 20th, 1971, the Grand Bridge was completed and opened to the public. It spans east-west across the platforms at the northernmost end of the station. In 1977, construction of the Tohoku Shinkansen works began. It would take 8 years to build the underground platforms and concourses, which are located 30 metres below ground. The 4 platforms are all parallel to one another and numbered 19 through to 22. Originally, platforms 19 and 20 were above ground, but in 1980 the 20th line was closed, and then in 1983 the 19th line was closed to make way for the Shinkansen ticket gates and escalators. The numbers 19 and 20 would be reassigned after opening. Finally, on March 14, 1985, the Ueno Shinkansen station would open for service with all the pomp and ceremony and dignitaries in attendance. The line would later be extended to Tokyo Station on June 20, 1991, no longer making Ueno the end of the line, and to this day, the Ueno Station Shinkansen is the only underground Shinkansen station on the network. September 1999 saw Platform 18 close, due to the need to increase the concourse area in front of the Shinkansen gates. The number 18 was never reassigned. Then in the year 2000, the 22-metre wide east-west free passage, otherwise known as the Panda Bridge, opened. Its wide thoroughfare is built over the top of the station and to the right of the main station building. The bridge and its connecting walkways were put in place not for the day-to-day commuters, but as a mass evacuation measure to be used in times of disaster, helping high volumes of people move from the dense eastern side of the station, where there are not many open spaces, to the west side of Ueno Park. The east-west free passage provides an alternative path if the rail underpass becomes blocked. In 2001, the Suica card was introduced at Ueno Station and across the JR East network. And in 2002, the Attore shopping chain opens at Ueno Station. Then, in 2007, the Passumo card came into operation. And finally, in 2015, chest-high platform doors were installed on the Yamanote line and came in operation in December. In 1885, the southern entrance of the first building is open for business as pulled rickshaws wait out front for customers, and how it looks today with the second generation building in place. In 1925, Platform 1 and 2 are open for service, with marble staircases and elegant light fittings. Today its original steel beam and girder system is still in place 94 years later. Also in 1925, the 80-metre long Yamashita-cho Viaduct is open for business, with the new park exit visible on the left-hand side, and how it looks today. In 1927, the Ginza Line grand opening attracts people to Ueno's Shinobazu entrance, and in 1946 it provides shelter to homeless people after World War II. And finally, how it looks today. In the late 1920s, a train travels the new elevated railway connecting Ueno and Tokyo stations, making the Yamanote line circular in operation, and what it has become today with skyscrapers and Ameyoko-cho markets. In 1932, the main waiting area is open with its steel girder skeleton for all to see, and today an attempt has been made to conceal some of the industrial steel and brighten up the space. Also in 1932, the second generation station building is brand new, showing off its two-tiered entry-exit system for all to see, with a fleet of Model Ts waiting out front and a few rickshaws off to the left, and what it looks like today with the Panda Bridge in front. Again in 1932, the main cavernous entry space and ticket hall with 13 ticket booths at the south wall, and how it looks today with modern refurbishment and escalators installed. In 1933, the Keisei Ueno Station was opened as Park Station, and today the station entrance has been refurbished, but the original stone wall on the right remains. In 1946, thousands gather in the burnt out ruins to buy and sell goods on the black market, in the area now known as Ameyoko-cho, and the modern concrete jungle it has become today. In 1945, the foyer to the front entry of the main station building has become home to thousands of displaced people after the war, and today, the same front entry is home to homeless. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed Ueno Station and its rich and eventful history. If you like this video, please subscribe and feel free to leave a comment in the section below. Take care, and I'll see you at the next station.